This is the Talent, Sales, and Scale Show.
Now, one of the things that we always start with, right, is the question of, yeah. So you're a mentor to a billion different people. And yeah. So you've been running your own branding shop since 2011. But why in the world should we listen to you?
Well, why should you? Well, honestly, at this stage of the game, I'm 36, it's 2022, and I have actually helped almost 300 organizations worldwide build brands that are the path of least resistance to revenue. My whole career has really evolved into being in a place where I can help entrepreneurs and founders come up with that messaging that's going to get more of the right prospect to the right table at the right time. And so that's why I'm here today, is to hopefully share with you guys, what's that proven formula? How do we actually build a brand that wins more work?
All right. Now, there's a couple of things that will come out of this. One part, I find it good to level set and define terms. So if we can define three different distinctives, the difference between branding versus messaging versus positioning, because a lot of times people will take positioning and messaging, or excuse me, positioning and branding and mix them together. So why don't we start there? Can you help us understand, what do you find the differences between positioning and positioning and branding, please?
Okay, so at a high level, let's just talk about the fact that I think branding, well, let's be honest, branding is a very nebulous, fluffy word, isn't it? I think when anybody hears this, they're like, what are you talking about? Okay. And branding also gets mixed up with marketing. Okay. So when we think about the world of sales and marketing is the way to build your revenue engine for a company. All right. Branding is a slice of the pie in marketing, where what we're really trying to nail down is how you show up in the world and who you're speaking to. Now, the way that typically happens are, there's two sides of branding. You have what's called like the visual side of branding, which many of us are familiar with, right? Your logo, your colors, your font, visually, how do you show up? But then you've got this messaging side of branding. And that's my work, is the messaging side of branding. Branding is about messaging, Brian. And that is also equal to positioning. Said differently, branding is really about the message that directly speaks to your customers to position your products and services. And it speaks to, here's what we do, here's how we solve your heart pain, and here's how we're different than the rest. That is brand messaging.
Got it. Now, let me make sure that I got this then. So branding is really just a segment of marketing. So marketing can be, and I didn't realize this, I mean, marketing has 17 million different flavors, right? So PR, digital, content creation.
Gosh, it's crazy.
Okay, so really then branding is a subset of marketing, a specific part of that. And if I heard you right, you said messaging is really positioning?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
okay.
It is.
Now, how much is positioning, branding, or let's take it to that messaging and branding. I'm screwing up on my terms here today. Son of a gun, Katie, is Monday. Taking a look at position and messaging. So those two things, positioning and messaging. How much of that is that ICP and go to market, that ideal customer profile and go to market, versus just the message to send to that ICP and the personas within?
Oh my gosh, that is such a great question. Well, let's talk through this. So, okay. When we think about building a brand, just in general, you say, hey, Kate, we have this company. Here's our products and services. We're in the business of building our business. Okay, great. All right. So that's all established. You have customers that you want to reach, right? You have target audiences. When you build your brand, the front face that somebody experiences the moment that they interact with you, the promise of what you're going to deliver, who you go after is critically important. You must put stakes in the ground and decide who are the one or two or three audiences that you want to serve. I think Brian, one of the biggest things that can get companies in trouble is trying to speak to everybody.
Which speaks to no one then.
Bingo.